being an interior designer, I guess by working with the build, I'm able to sort of offer inspiration on a larger scale to more people. And using these 3D spaces, we can curate looks to give them more of an idea of what these products are going to look like in a real space, and hopefully give them a bit of confidence in the product and make them feel confident about their purchase.
You're listening to the She Renovates podcast. You're listening to She Renovates, the podcast for women who want to renovate to create an income and a life they love.
Hello everyone. We're back with another episode of She Renovates, and I am very happy to say we have Laura Pittaway here today. Now, as you know, we had our She Renovates live event 2 weeks ago now, almost 2 weeks ago, and the Build by Temple and Webster were one of our amazing sponsors, and so we thought that it might be a good idea to dig a little bit deeper into the Build and what it offers, renovators like us. And so I've asked Laura to come along. Now, I think this is Laura's debut interview. So, so don't worry, all will be well. Nobody could be worse than I was on my first time, and still occasionally am, so all good. So before we get into it, Laura, do you want to tell us just a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Laura. I'm an interior designer, mainly residential. I've got 2 young children. So I've got a 7-year-old Hendrix and a little girl, Goldie. She's 4. I'm married. My husband and I have just recently finished our second renovation that we've sort of tackled in the last 10 years. It was quite a major renovation, so it was a big job. Yeah, so and I've been working with the Build now for almost 12 months, so which has been really interesting. It's very sort of different to working on residential projects, but a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to tell you more about them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you want to get into that? What exactly do you do at the Build?
So I'm the in-house interior designer at the Build. So I'm responsible for designing all of the 3D spaces and curating the looks for those spaces. It's sort of my job to show our customers, what our products could look like in a real space, and sort of give them ideas and inspiration for their own projects.
So when you say 3D spaces, you mean digital spaces?
Mm-hmm. Digital spaces.
Yeah.
So I work with a 3D artist, Mike. Hi, Mike, if you're watching. We work together really closely to design and create these spaces, so to bring the products to life. Obviously it's really tricky, and time-wise it's really tricky to sort of build these rooms in real life, and we wouldn't be able to sort of give as much inspiration and content if we were building real rooms. So the 3D spaces are a great way for us to communicate the look and feel of what we're trying to get across.
And so they are used in the listings, or where do you use
them? We use them on our website and also social media. And basically, I guess the thing for me that I found, most appealing about joining the Build was that being an interior designer, working with clients, it's not really a service that is able to be afforded by everybody. It's quite an expensive option when you're tackling a huge project, and it's not always at the top of the list for people. So I guess by working with the Build, I'm able to sort of offer inspiration, on a larger scale to more people. And using these 3D spaces, we can curate looks to give them, more of an idea of what these products are going to look like in, a real space, and hopefully, give them a bit of confidence in the product, and make them feel confident about their purchase.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to go and have a hard look now. Actually, Mike, it might be good if we slot some of those images actually into the recording.
Yeah, I mean, they're incredible. Mike does a fantastic job of making them look very real. And, a lot of time and consideration goes into pulling the products from the website and creating the looks. So everything's really well thought through and curated. And we definitely want to make sure that we cover off a whole, range of trends and looks, and that hopefully there's something for everybody.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, it's not furniture though, is it? It's
No, so at the Build, we offer home improvement products. So we're a home improvement retailer, and so it's kitchen sinks, tapware, tiles, flooring, you name it, basically anything to do with home improvement, really. Home improvement products, then we cover that at the Build.
Yeah. And do you I'm assuming that the Build has an expansion program. You've got more sort of categories coming online.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
at the moment, we currently range 20,000 products, and it's growing every day. Not only within the ranges that we have already, so the existing ranges. So we cover off things like lighting, heating and cooling. As I said before, flooring, kitchen, bathroom, laundry. We have all those existing products, and those ranges are growing daily. But we're also adding new ranges as well. So we've got a great team of buyers who are constantly sourcing and looking at new and innovative products to add to the website.
Yeah. And do those buyers consult with renovators, people that are actively renovating?
Yes, always talking to our customers, and speaking to industry experts as well. So we always want to make sure that we've got our finger on the pulse, and we know what's kind of happening in the industry, so that we can make sure that we've got the products available to everybody. I guess the
Yeah.
thing that's sort of the best thing about the Build is that when you're shopping for a renovation or a new build, you have to sort of go out to different showrooms and trawl around looking for different things, and it can be quite a time-consuming process. The thing about the Build is that you can do all of that from the comfort of your own home in your pajamas, if you like. And I know, especially being a mum with 2 young kids and having just gone through the process myself, it's really tricky to try and get everything you need and without kind of going grey. So the Build, I guess, is a fabulous resource in that respect. We even offer samples, so you can order up to 5 samples for free on our website. So if you want to touch and feel the tiles and look at the fixtures in person, not the fixtures, sorry, the tiles in person, you can order them to be sent home, and you can scheme at home and pull the looks together yourself, and have confidence in knowing that the colors you're seeing on the website are in fact what you're going to receive, which is an amazing
Well, it's sort of essential
mhm.
because it's
Mm,
really hard to represent a color accurately through
definitely,
photos, isn't it? Yeah, I've had
definitely.
that where I've
Yeah,
ordered floor rugs, and when they come out, like I had one and it came out and it's meant to be sort of like a silver grey, and it actually looked quite blue, and I thought, "Actually, that
yeah,
wasn't what I ordered," but when I looked online, again, actually, it did look blue online, but the photo just
yeah.
doesn't bring that out, so
Yeah,
really
it's really
important.
tricky. It's really, really tricky. And I think even in different spaces, so even if you are shopping in a bricks and mortar store and you're looking at an item in their lighting, when you get that piece home, it can look very different in your space. So I think it's really important that whether you're shopping online with us or you're shopping in a bricks and mortar store, that you take your samples and you bring them to your home and you look at them in your light and your space, because it can the lighting can make a real difference to the finish. So yeah, definitely. But we offer that service, and I think that's a really important service to offer, because
Yeah.
without sort of touching and feeling those particular items, it can be really tricky to make a decision.
Absolutely. And do people send them back? Because I have to say, this I know it's a first world problem, but I have found that I've got all these tile orphans around the house from
Yeah.
when they've been sent out, and then you don't know what to do with them.
A really great thing that you can do with that, and I know from when I was studying design that students are always after tile samples and finishes.
Okay.
So definitely upload it onto Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace, or contact Sydney Design School, for example, or Billy Blue, and see if they would like some samples, because they're always after samples from people. So that's a
That is
kind of good tip.
great because, yeah, I hate throwing things out, but
Yep.
yes, they do become a bit of a problem.
Yep.
Okay. So, what do renovators need to know about the build?
Okay, well, I think I already touched on it. The most important aspect, I think, was I guess, being able to do everything online from your own comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most important thing. Super convenient and easy. And we have spent a lot of time, creating a platform that, is easy to shop. It's beautiful, has loads of inspiration, and obviously a huge range of product. So that's one thing that's really important. The other thing is that our customer service, I think, is second to none. We have a huge offering online, but we are not a marketplace. I say that because when you purchase a product with the build, we take over the customer service, the shipping, the whole experience is done in-house. So we want to make sure that our customers, when they shop with us, they have a great experience every time. And so we like to manage that whole process, from beginning to end in-house. Thirdly, we're an Australian company, which is fantastic. And we offer, a lot of great Australian brands within our range. So we've got people like Timberline, Phoenix Tapware, Oliveri, Mir, Marquee, Thermo Group, Turner Hastings, just to name a few. We offer a great range of Australian brands. So I think it's really important that we support them and
absolutely,
it's great.
Yeah.
Also, majority of our products do ship Australia-wide, which is fantastic. Where they don't, we're working really hard to make that happen. We want to make sure that we're available to everybody. So we're working really hard behind the scenes to make that happen, but we do ship majority to Australia-wide, which is great. Yeah.
And the other thing that renovators need to know is that you do order consolidation, which if you don't know that, you only make that mistake once where you don't do that, because otherwise you'll end up with 20 deliveries, from an order. So I think that's a big plus.
Yep, definitely. Our team work really hard to make sure that process is as smooth as possible. And if there are any issues, we've got a great care team, customer care team who, do their best to make it as smooth as possible and to fix any issues that might arise.
Yeah. And what sort of time frame are we looking at for delivery?
It varies depending on the product. The good thing about our communication is great. So we keep everything on email. We let everybody know sort of as it's going, sort of the progress of the shipping. So it's really hard to sort of pinpoint an exact delivery time. But we're very good at communicating where your purchase is at and when it will be with you.
Yeah. And I think if COVID has taught us anything, is that we do need to be super duper organized. We can't really be ordering things ad hoc these days. We've got to allow plenty of time.
Exactly. And I think that's the case for, your renovation as a whole, not just for fixtures and fittings, but, organizing your trades. They're so busy at the moment. So making sure that you have them lined up and ready to go. Even your timber, your flooring, gyprock, even everything sort of needs to be ordered ahead of time and slotted in, because the delays can be huge.
Yeah.
And
so what's a common myth about your industry?
There's a few, but I'd say the main one is probably that in order to achieve a really luxe look, you have to use really expensive product. Definitely not the case. I think we've proved with a lot of the 3Ds that we've produced already that you can use affordable product and still create a beautiful space. I think it comes down to making the right selections and, mixing the right finishes, and definitely layering helps to make a space look and feel more, luxe and have that homey feel. Yeah, I think that's probably one of them. And then I'd say the other one is probably that an interior designer just fluffs cushions, makes spaces look pretty by just throwing things together, which is definitely not the case. Just as it is with our 3Ds, in a real life experience, pulling a room together, pulling a look together takes a lot of time and consideration and a lot of hours. So yeah, that's definitely one thing that people are surprised by, I guess, is how much admin is involved in designing a home.
I completely agree. Like, we have some interior designers in our community, and so I see the back end of what they're doing and I think, oh my gosh,
I think you definitely spend more time sort of behind the computer doing administrative tasks or documenting designs than you do playing with samples and pulling and scheming looks. So it's definitely a lot more work involved than I think people realize. They're
Yeah.
probably the two things that I'd say are the most common.
So it's also important to mention that just like with Temple and Webster, you're able to set up a
Yep,
trade account with your ABN with
that's right. Yes.
the build, which is
Mhm.
something that most of our renovators do. So I noticed that we have an account manager. Is that something that is part of the trade, the
Yeah,
trade
so
account?
yeah, our trade and commercial team will help look after anybody that's a part of the trade or who has a trade account. So if the best thing to do is to probably go to our website and scroll to the bottom, and you'll see sort of the list of contacts. And there's a space there for trade and commercial customers. So if you click on that, you can create your trade account or get in contact with us to ask questions, or to if there's anything that you sort of need to touch base on, we can help you through there.
I've got one more question that wasn't on the list, but I'll ask
Yeah,
it
sure.
anyhow. What's your best-selling product?
Oh gosh, I think lately we've been selling a lot of laundry cabinets, so laundry cupboards. Not sure why. I'd have to ask the buying team, but they've been selling really well. And then, I'd say our tapware is probably up there. We have a great range of tapware and quite a substantial group of suppliers. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably the category that we've had a lot of purchases with. So yeah, definitely check those out. But yeah, laundry cupboards. I'm not sure why, but
Who
yeah,
knows?
interesting. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Laura, thank you for joining us and showing us the human face of the build. It's
Oh, you're welcome.
and it's we're going to be watching your progress with interest, because I think it can only go from strength to strength.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've got a really great team, and everyone's really keen and eager. I think everybody on the team currently has renovated in some capacity. So we're all in that stage of life where we love renovating and love building. So yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. It was lovely to meet you and chat with you.
Yeah, you too.
This is the She Renovates podcast. To discover how to harness the power of renovating, check out theschoolofrenovating.com.